Human Services Committee. I see in attendance that we have the chair is present, CM Benedict is present, CM Hauser is present, CM Rutherford is present, and CM Withers is present, so I detect a quorum. We have one resolution that we are going to be considering today. This is RS 2022-1450 by Sepulveda, Johnston, Gamble, and others. This appropriates $7,519,000 in American Rescue Aid Act funds from Fund number 30216 to increase access to existing high-quality child care centers, provide more resources to home-based child care, and invest in efforts to build capacity and to build up high-quality child care programs. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. We have a motion and a second is properly before us. CM Sepulveda, would you like to tell us a little bit about this resolution?
Sure. So we had United Way and the Ralph Institute before the Budget Committee yesterday, so I don't know how many of y'all got to hear that. But basically, there's a two-pronged approach to this. There's going to be money that is put into child care centers, 12 of them to be exact. 2 of them will be specifically targeted in the Hispanic population. So they're still working on identifying those last 2. And then there will be another component for at-home childcare. So we know that many minority communities usually don't take their children to centers per se or daycares. They take them to a relative or a known friend, which was the case for me when I was growing up. And so the idea is to put money into making them putting money into education and training the caretaker to be able to provide a learning environment, helping them register with the state and other components. The idea is now you're not a babysitter, you are a small business, you are an entrepreneur. There will be organizers that are going to be hired to do outreach into the Latino and the Kurdish community to make sure that we tap into those pockets. But yeah, we're just really excited about this. There's a possibility of making child care very affordable, and what the Ralph Institute and United Way had told us is there's the potential of it only costing around $42 a week to put a child through this. So
that's amazing.
Wonderful.
Questions?
Thank you, Chair. So I just think what a fabulous opportunity for us to use our funds for something that, as a constituent to me, maybe on my 3rd month in this role, brought to me. Child care is going to be the #1 pressing issue in this country and in this city, state and in the city, so that we can have people, going out and getting to work and being able to have their kids taken care of in an inexpensive way, so that they can go out and contribute potentially more to the economy, or be able to whatever it might be, that taking care of their kids keeps them at home. And that has only been exacerbated, as we've seen through the pandemic, is that people have not been able necessarily to leave the house to get back to a normal job because they need daycare for their kids, or any time of child care for their family, for their kids. And so this, to me, is just a great opportunity for us to help and fill a much needed gap for Nashvillians. So I support this and hope that my colleagues do as well.
CM Heather, did you have a question?
Yeah, I am definitely very excited about this, and excited not only because it's going to provide high quality child care for those who may not have that accessible now, but also, as you mentioned, take the people out of the feeling of I'm babysitting to now I have the skill sets to really provide high-level care for the children. My question is, how is this money going to be used in 1 year, over what period of time?
I believe it's 2 years.
Okay. And then after the 2 years, will we, in the meantime, be working up some sort of plan to be able to continue this in the future?
So,
I hate to see it drop in 2 years.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. We only have a certain amount of money when it comes to ARP. And that has to be used by 2025.
Right.
I know that they have been before the Minority Caucus and the Women's Caucus, and I think last that we spoke at the Women's Caucus, there was idea of, well, how can we get certain things funded in the budget and what can we send to the mayor's
Right.
office? So those conversations have already started in other places.
That's great, because what I'm hoping is that we see the results of this, and then we will have the data to say, this is why
Yes.
it's good for the city to support it, because there's always, a limited amount of money and we're trying to get the biggest bang for our buck.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping that this program gives us the opportunity to collect that data of not only what difference it makes in those children's lives, but their parents' lives of being able to work and the caretakers. So I'm hoping that we put in place data collecting methodologies to get all of that, so then we can support it when 3 years from now we come back to the budget and say, this is why we need this allocated.
Yes, there is a reporting mechanism to it, so they will be reporting back to the ARP committee. And then yesterday in committee, they also said that they would be reporting at some time later to the council as a whole. So there is that, and the idea is that this is like the first time we'll be able to really test it with sufficient amount of funds.
To really make it work, yeah. Well, I'm excited about this, and I definitely fully support it. I just wanted to kind of put the bug in the ear out there that we need to be looking about year 3, what are we gonna do?
And this was one of the highest requests from the survey that we put out for the ARP committee. I think it was second or third.
Yeah, because you can easily spend over $1,000 a month on childcare, easily.
I had a question about, given that it's going to make like home-based childcare more, like you said, small business, people actually have a business, will that open anybody up to any regulation or anything, like either in the city or the state in terms of numbers or limitations of what you can do now in your home?
So I think Councilmember Cash has legislation before us tonight to change a couple of those regulations that the council had put forward a while ago. I know that there will be staffers through United Way and the Ralph Institute that will be helping the at-home childcare people navigate through that system.
Okay.
So
that-
they will have people specifically where they're able to go to, so they're not just, here's a bunch of money, you're left to yourself.
Yeah, it's good. I would just hate to see that be a roadblock, to find out there's all sorts of new things that you're subject to, and it makes it so you can't continue to do, the childcare work that you want to do. Does anyone else have a question or any other discussion? This is before us, properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? The resolution passes. Thank you so much. And with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.